behind the rising allergy burden. Before we begin, I would like to briefly introduce our doctor, Dr. Kushal Banerjee, Senior Consultant Homeopath at Dr. Kalyan Banerjee's clinic, Bengaluru, a senior homeopathic physician with extensive clinical experience spanning several years. Dr. Banerjee is known for his research-driven treatment protocols and his work in the clinical evaluation of homeopathic treatment outcomes across a range of chronic health conditions. Through today's interaction, Dr. Banerjee will shed light on the alarming rise of the allergies in urban populations and discuss the growing body of evidence linking gut health, immunity, and allergic diseases. The session will explore how modern lifestyle factors and disruptions in gut health may be contributing to the increasing prevalence of allergies among both children and adults. So now I hand over.
Things that are then traveling down to the chest, asthmatic episodes, these are all respiratory and ENT allergies. And at the same time, you have hypersensitivity of the stomach, of the GI system, which is also seeing a huge rise, contributed to by stressful lifestyle, by adoption of a Western diet, by absence of fibrous components in our diet, use of over-medication for other illnesses which affects our gut and then affects the gut health in general. So you have these GI conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel syndrome, gastroesophageal reflux disease, functional dyspepsia, celiac disease, lactose intolerance. These are huge list of issues that are very prolonged, have no real long-term solution. Cost of just managing allergies. And you can say that, oh, this is a developed country phenomenon and we don't have so bad. The Indian number is 71 billion INR. And because we are worse in managing our asthmatic attacks, our disability associated life year, this is an outcome that is used in public health called DALI, is actually almost 2.5 times more. Like people are disabled for longer periods of more years, because of how we manage it in this country. So, despite medication diagnosis, we are actually managing it worse off in India than we are in Western countries. Being fed by the side effects of. So first, you have the illness. You are absent or present because of the illness. Then the management that you do is also worsening outcome. It's making you even less efficient because anti-allergies particularly have memory recall issues, focus issues, concentration issues, mood issues. So you effect that I mentioned, the long-term issues of continuously being on steroids, of continuously being on anti-allergies, of being admitted to hospitals and then catching secondary infections from other because of admissions. Those are just exponentially worse. And the important thing to remember here is an endless cost. when you have allergies, when you have hypersensitivity, when you have these gut health issues, there is no end in sight. You may be, so there is a lot of self-diagnosis. We are conflating intolerances and allergies. It's also very fashionable now to be gluten intolerant, to have gluten-free, lactose-free food. It is perceived to be healthier. But there is a very direct cost to that also. If your household suddenly becomes gluten-free, you have increased your household expenses substantially for life. If I am a big tech company, I have to offer gluten-free and lactose-free, this is a 3x. It can be a huge expense into my dietary budget for my employees, which then has to be sustained. And if more and more people decide to become lactose intolerant with no clear diagnosis, then that cost is continuously increasing. Another reason need to be looked at by individuals, by employers, by policymakers. So there is always a lot of talk about what is there in homeopathy, what is the evidence, what is that. So this is a systematic review that I authored along with researchers from the University of Oxford and Imperial College on allergic rhinitis, which has the biggest economic and health impact of all allergies in the world. Allergic rhinitis with homeopathy. And it's not just me. This is just a quick search on Google Scholar and on PubMed. This is something that is assessing just general allergic conditions. This is assessing respiratory allergies. This is assessing pediatric allergies, children and adults, and skin allergies. So just a very quick, the people are quick to where's the evidence. This is just a quick search that's already giving me decent indication that there's potential of homeopathy to help with these conditions. And of course, we can look at other assessments of these pieces of research, like there can be better quality, more needs to be done. Right, how expensive and how under the radar this condition is just continuing, and we are not understanding its impact. And the fact that there are options out there with evidence supporting it, which is not being looked at any level, at many levels. Do something completely different. This is regarding the recent controversy. Does anybody remember what the controversy is recently about homeopathy? It was in the news quite a lot. So a celebrity said that homeopathy is part of my life. That's all she said. And the media went berserk. Big controversy around homeopathy, big controversy. One person just said that homeopathy is part of my life. And there are opinion articles, big news publications, very respected newspapers have given space about why this is a controversy, why. The only thing that was done was one person said that I use homeopathy. Bias that exists, which is very unfair and which is unethical in my opinion. I'll talk about it just a little. We ourselves are also to blame as homeopaths, where we have not been as enthusiastic about churning out good high quality research over the years. But why is that? Today, if you were to submit, and this has happened to me and this has happened to my co-authors during my research publications, where within 10 minutes a journal has rejected my manuscript. For scientific journals. And then people turn around and say, oh, you don't have a publication in a good journal. How am I going to get it? If no one is even looking at methodology, no one is looking at the quality of research. The standards are not the same. So you're suppressing research there. This is the death knell for homeopathy. This is the last nail in the coffin of homeopathy. This was in 2011 or 12. They found that they deliberately chose to the decimal point and inclusion criteria. This is the Lancet publishing, and that was the last thing they published. So now no one else can say, oh, there's nothing positive in the Lancet now in the last 10 years. Systematic review to publish guidelines about homeopathy. When they did this, they found that homeopathy is effective for 5 or 6 conditions. But this was not an outcome that they wanted. So they just suppressed that report. Then they came out with another report. When homeopathic associations found this out, they went to the ombudsman in Australia, and now the after 10 years of fighting, that report has been released. So if you do your evidence-based medicine and you do your research and you find homeopathy works, you suppress it. And then you just highlight, oh, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. Look at all the evidence. Being taught by Sir Ian Chalmers and Professor Gordon Gaya. These are the two people who coined the phrase evidence-based medicine. They gave the world that phrase. They are of the opinion that a big component are the choices, hopes and aspirations of the patient. You cannot practice evidence-based medicine without acknowledging and incorporating this in your practice. If a patient today who is well informed or has been informed in whatever way has decided that I want to do homeopathy, who are we to force them not to? Logically, absolutely perfect. They did an analysis of all conventional treatment and they found that 94% of conventional medicine does not have high quality evidence backing it. This is, so if I just cherry pick data like this, then I can say 94% of allopathy is useless, has no evidence. This is the magic of evidence-based medicine, where you can spin bits of data to further whatever agenda you want. Not be taken lightly, but that doesn't mean that under that fear we just blanket bomb everyone and keep popping pills.
But how advisable you mean say?
So in terms of side effects, allergy capital of the country, the incidence of allergies even in the allergy capital is going up. Various reasons for this: global warming, urbanization and others. It's very important to look at the impact that this trend is having on individual health, household health issues, and the financial burden that is putting on individuals and breadwinners for the families. Conventional management has demonstrated huge costs imposed on individuals and organizations, and overall the country's economy suffers substantially because of allergies. It's very important that we start looking at alternative systems like homeopathy, which has shown some potential in managing allergies, and more work needs to be done in identifying how this burden can be eased on the individuals, families and employers in this nation through homeopathy.